Okay, I'm about to prepare for another episode of the Madhouse. And I'm getting my supplies ready, and I'm gonna get back to some reaction videos. And I already know the response to this, but because it's James Gunn, and people are tired of me criticizing James Gunn, but the reality is, and I think this is factual, is that people are talking what's continuing. There's still so much confusion. I know some James Gunn fans understand everything he's going to try for and believe that he has to do things the way he's doing it. I don't believe that. I don't. But his recent comment, and I also get influenced by my friends that are really love James Gunn and what he's doing, what he's planning, and something fresh. And more power to you. And I'm watching Ryan KINEL now, and I'm not a fan of Ryan KINEL. He never came on my channel, which he promised to. And I really disagree with his takes. I don't like some of his behavior, but, I don't hate him. I just don't like what he does. But he is on point with some of his James Gunn coverage. And I know people are going to have a problem with me saying that, especially how much I criticize Ryan KINEL. But this is still brand confusion. Even from the jump when he said, when there was a fact-based scooper leaked that they're heading towards a reboot, and he said some things are true, some things are half true, some things are yet to be determined. That is basically everything. That's all DC right now. Some things have yet to be determined, in my opinion. My friend Joe has an alternate opinion. He thinks James Gunn says that Blue Beetle's going to continue. He is confident of Gal Gadot's return. Jason Momoa, I lack that confidence. And I think that basically says it all. And that is a horrible, horrible message to consumers. Because I basically think that's what will his stuff be quality? Absolutely. I believe James Gunn could produce quality entertainment. But I believe the whole slate is some things are true, some things are untrue, some things have yet to be determined. And then a caveat added to that is some things, some things can change too. And overall, the messaging is just a mess to me. There's not confidence, whether you're a Snyder fan or not. There's just not a lot of confidence in DC right now. But let's react to Ryan KINEL a little bit, just a few minutes.
Platform still. Who asked him, "You said DC Studios movies and canon start with Superman Legacy. I and many others are still confused. Are the returning actors playing new versions of the same?"
And that is not just trolls. I really don't believe that's just trolls. Like, what's going on? What's going on? I don't believe that at all.
In characters? Is this a J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah situation? Here's what James Gunn says. Nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year, and then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy after that. It's a very human drive to want to understand everything all the time, but I think it's okay to be confused on what's happening in the DCU, since no one has seen anything from the DCU yet.
And now's where I'm going to change my stance even from the live stream earlier, is if you are trying to get in, let's be real, they need to bring people back to the theater, that they've lost the confidence in DC. It's not really okay to be this confused. I mean, there's only one movie left before his stuff comes out. It's not really okay. It's not okay to be this confused. I will say I personally just do not know what's going on with the character, with the characters that like Aquaman, Wonder Woman. That's where my confusion lays. I don't really have any confusion with Superman Legacy, though. But you're talking about legacy of DC characters, legacy of Aquaman and Wonder Woman. This is Warner Brothers' legacy of introducing a character in a live-action movie and then messing it up 2 movies in. Look at the original Superman. They did it with Superman when they took over Richard Donner. This is a Warner Brothers problem. This goes way deeper than Zack Snyder. Warner Brothers is doing. If you go look, I did a Watch Mojo video I reacted to or watched to. I didn't react. I didn't show it. Where there is a long history of Warner Brothers interfering to the detriment of the product. I don't think was Blade Runner Warner Brothers. I don't know, but there's a long history of Warner Brothers projects after Batman Returns. Again, and I think a lot of this does have to do with toy sales. Marvel stuff sells better to young people than DC. Besides the reception. But after Batman Returns, it's too dark. We can't sell enough toys at McDonald's. So, yes, Tim Burton was putting together Batman 3. They removed him from it. Richard Donner. The only reason that you got, in my opinion, personal opinion, the only reason that you got Batman in the situation it is right now where you could get a full trilogy is because what happened on The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, that amazing performance, and then you finally get trilogy. And now that is an expected thing for Batman. But if The Dark Knight wasn't a slam dunk, and that situation didn't happen with the Joker, they potentially would have messed with Christopher Nolan as well. But now, because there's a successful Batman trilogy, I don't like the third one, but, whatever. Now it's expected that Matt Reeves is going to get a full trilogy. But, no, it's not okay, because part of the job is not just to produce the new content, is to honor the legacy, in my opinion. I think this is fair. I don't think this is overly critical. In my opinion, is to honor the legacy of what came before. And then the bad press with his comments before, which he still hasn't debunked. Am I personally offended? No, but I think that's a bad look for a president of DC Studios. I think it's a very bad look. And there should have been clarification. He should have not, in my opinion, he should not have said anything at all. Or if he was going to clarify his stance on those movies. But what did he do? He was salty about the reports coming out that he personally tanked his Facebook. And no, I was locked out. But no other comment besides that. Not a good look. So brand confusion and what the PR, it's not okay for your consumers to be confused, and that's bad marketing. And that's marketing 101. And you could call me a hater, and I really think that James Gunn fans have become what they criticize with Zack Snyder fans, where they cannot really accept valid criticisms of James Gunn. I really think that. And I still wish James Gunn the best, and Harcourt, Jennifer, what's her name? I forget her name. Wish them the best. I want Superman Legacy to be a smash hit. I want Aquaman 2 to be amazing. But confusion on the consumer is a recipe for disaster. And I am a veteran of customer service for 20 plus years. And confusion is never a good thing for the consumer. Not when you want them to pay. Let's hear what else Ryan has to say.
Quick to point out, okay, you've said that this actor's still going to be there. You said that this actor's still going to be there. You've also said, remember this, Blue Beetle will be the first character in the new DC universe, James Gunn confirms. I mean, the first DCU character for sure is Blue Beetle, and the first full DCU movie.
Yeah, just having that differential, he's the first character, but his movie isn't the first in the DCU, is also confusing. It is. It's also confusing. Okay, so he's the first DCU character, but his movie isn't in the DC, the first in the DCU. Now,
be fair. If Blue Beetle made $1 billion at the box office and it was a smash hit, or even half $1 billion, and was comparable to Across the Spider-Verse, and like we really like, they would be saying this is the first DCU movie. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. If it was a success, that I feel like is why you get this wishy-washy marketing. Like, well, he is in the DCU, but it's not the first DCU movie. He's the first DCU character, but it's not the first DCU movie. And the more I think about it, that is horrible marketing as well. Show some confidence in your product. If he's the first DCU character, maybe they should have released Aquaman 2 first and said, this is the start of the DCU. That's one thing they could have easily adjusted. Put Aquaman 2 out first. Put Blue Beetle in the 2024. This is your first DCU movie. But I also think James Gunn wants the spotlight as the first project in the first DCU movie too.
It didn't help anyone get invested in that movie. Blue Beetle is another flop for them at the box office. When he talked about all the connections that maybe the Flash would have to potential old DCEU and new DCU, did it work for that? That certainly didn't work for that either. So I guess now James Gunn is just going with, hey, it's okay to be confused about the future of DC. Just go out and enjoy the movies. Something makes me think that won't exactly work out either. He does add on, and yes, some characters will be playing characters they've played in other stories, and some plot points might be consistent with plot points from the dozens of films, shows, and animated projects that have come from DC in the past. But nothing is canon until Creature Commandos and Legacy. So yes, you're going to still have some same actors playing their roles, but what happened before may or may not matter. Do you understand why this is so confusing to people, and why, despite you being okay with everyone being confused, James Gunn, it leads to people not being invested with what you want to do? And he even addresses that later on. Somebody said,
I agree. I agree.
I'm wondering, how does the Blue Beetle movie factor in at this point? You said it was included, but some statements are conflicting. Zolo Maridueña will continue playing Blue Beetle in the DCU as Viola Davis.
All right, hold on.
And this is where I'm saying there is another out for James Gunn, is not to respond to this stuff. Because people are confused. You're not going to fix it with tweets. And there are some conflicting statements. If you have a universe that's on track, even the MCU people are still confused. You know, even when it's going on all cylinders, people get still confused. But when you have situations like the change, look at the David Goyer. He said even the creatives were confused because of this constant change of leadership at Warner Brothers. There's no winning to this until you have something to show. Show us with your movie. And they haven't shown us with their movies yet how anything makes sense altogether. And just talking about it, it's not going to help. And this stuff's not aging well already. With like the Blue Beetle. The more I think about it, saying it's the first DCU character, but it's not the first DCU movie, is an asinine statement. I'm sorry. That makes no sense. Well, his movie should be within the DCU then. So everything that happened in Blue Beetle, like to his character, that is canon, right? If he's the first character, if he's in the DCU, everything that happened to his character is actually the canon. So Creature Commandos isn't the start of the... Oh my God.
This will be Amanda Waller, and John Cena will be Peacemaker. No hint on Gal Gadot at all, despite recent reports. And someone asked, why should we invest in this universe if we don't have any knowledge of what the fuck is going on? If you think of anything as investing time and effort, no matter what shared universe, you definitely shouldn't be. Each story should be enjoyed and worth partaking in and of itself, without its attachment to an outside world. If it feels like homework...
Okay. Oh, he says that if it feels like homework, screw it. I didn't see this before. Don't tell the consumer to do that. Oh my goodness.
Screw it. Shared universes should add fun to the individual stories, not the other way around. The individual stories and characters are much more important to me than the connections between them. Although I understand what he's saying, and he's right in terms of every movie you should be able to enjoy as a standalone thing. But the shared universe aspect absolutely helps you get more from something.
Yes.
I feel like you're more connected to a lot of pieces of that.
It helps you get more box office. It really does.
Universe. The idea that James Gunn, while people are saying, hey, it's hard to get invested in these fucking movies if we don't know anything about them, you don't reveal any...
All right. You swear too much.
All right. That's my take on this. I'm actually not happy with this video. I'm not happy to say these things. I'm not happy to agree. I was even going to do... I'm actually canceling my... I think I'm going to cancel my my Madhouse episode 2. Because this got me annoyed. Thinking about this. After I saw more comments that he's replying to people on the internet, oh my God, what an epic fail. Don't reply, screw it, to the consumer. If it's too confusing, screw it. If it feels like homework. Because keeping track and wanting to be invested in DC at this time does feel like homework. It feels like it's not enjoyable. Even with all the drama with the studios and the talent just constantly in the public eye, and talent not even knowing if they're going to continue or if their movie's going to get released or something shelved, you know, in the shade on the previous choices is all a horrible look. Okay, I'm going to do something else now. I hope you have something to say about this video. I don't know if you enjoyed it. It doesn't bring me joy to say I agree with Ryan KINEL on this one, but I'm going to be reacting to more people, not just Ryan, and do more reactions like this. So I will see you later. Have a good one.